Hey, we're pleased to be joined by Jimmy Liston, a member of Purdue's class of 2023. And yeah, Jimmy, thanks for joining us. And I guess a place I always like to start is why Purdue for you? I know there's an obvious family connection for you, but just talk about your decision to choose Purdue.
Why I chose Purdue was because of the history my family has there. It's a great opportunity for me, and my dad played there. Great academic school, so it really checks all the boxes, and I'm really a Boilermaker at heart.
Did you get a chance to go to many games growing up? Did your dad take you to West Lafayette often?
He did. We would make it down there a lot. I've been to a handful of games from like Tiller, Hazel, Brom. Now we're going into the Walters era, so.
I guess that's another good jumping off point here for us. Just sort of your early impressions of Coach Walters. I don't know if you've talked to him. I'm sure you probably have, but you have to be excited to be part of this new regime, huh?
Yeah, very. I'm very excited. In the conversations I've had with him, he's a very straight up guy, and him and I have a very good relationship now, and I'm looking forward to getting in and showing out for him and his staff.
And you project as a center, Jimmy, is that right?
Center guard. The old staff wanted to use me as an interior guy, so
Mhm.
wherever they need me and I can help, I'd be glad to. I'd be glad to go.
Hey, take us back to high school. You were from Oak Park, Illinois, suburban Chicago. You went to Fenwick High, correct?
Yeah, I did. I
Hey,
did.
just talk about your high school career a little bit.
So throughout high school, I was a 4 year starter. I was very fortunate and lucky, to be put in that position at such a young age, and that experience when I was young really helped me out my sophomore year, my junior year. Um, I also wrestled there. Had a pretty good career, so my overall high school experience was very good.
Yeah, I mean, talk about your wrestling career. I know it's pretty extensive. Just kind of give people an idea of really how involved you have been in wrestling up to this point.
The funny thing was, I originally I told my dad I wanted to wrestle in college, but that changed once I got to high school. But I actually started wrestling before I started playing football. I started wrestling in third grade, and I started playing football in fourth. So it was really like the sport I fell in love with at first, but as it went on, I didn't really see myself um, continuing with it in college. But it's helped me out so much.
Is it Greco-Roman wrestling? Was that what you were participating in? Is that right?
So there's in season, which is folk style, and then there's out of season, which is freestyle and Greco-Roman. So the out of season part, when I would participate, I would like go to national tournaments and I would wrestle freestyle and Greco
And you
there.
were wrestling at a very high level, a national level, weren't you?
I was.
And obviously, you said that those skills have to help translate to football. Just how do you think of wrestling makes you a better offensive lineman?
I definitely think like one of the biggest parts, like the mental aspect of it. It's you versus someone else out there. The second aspect of it is like body leveraging. Like you can like feel when someone's about to like push pull you, or like you can feel like body weight movement. So
Mhm.
that's like a big thing as an offensive lineman. And I think just like the toughness aspect of it, really.
You're out there all by yourself, man, one on one. It's takes a lot of courage. You're right. And
Mhm.
and then Jimmy, talk about going to IMG, the thought process, and I guess having a postgraduate season down there in Florida this last fall.
So at the end of my high school wrestling season, I went from 310 all the way down to 240.
Mm.
And the old staff consulted my parents. Are like, hey, he's pretty light here. We don't think he'll be good to go. We don't want him getting hurt. So they were like, well, what do you suggest? They told us that, he can develop for another year. We'll honor your commitment. And my parents and I were all in. And they said it won't hurt your eligibility. You'll be able to improve, get better, put on some good weight. So right now I'm back up to about 280.
Okay.
Um, but that whole experience was amazing. I was able to, win a national title for IMG's postgraduate team. I get a lot of questions about it. It is different than the national. So IMG has 4 teams. There's a national team, varsity blue, varsity white, and then there's a post grad team, which I was on. The post grad team is consistent of all reclass members like us.
I didn't realize there were that many different teams at IMG. And again, Jim, I'm sure you played some very good competition, right?
Yes, the teams we played various JUCOs. We would play, the armed force JVs. We played like the Naval Academy in their stadium. So, experiences like that where you get to go up against a FBS Division I defensive lineman, and technically you're still in high school. That experience for me was great and helped me out a lot.
Well, I'm sure the fans are looking forward to getting to know you better, Jimmy. We appreciate you giving us some of your time, and I look forward to meeting you at some point. Safe travels already.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.